Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate Investor Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andresa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andresa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Investor Show, where our mission is to empower women to live a financially free and balanced life. And we do that through a lot of things we're doing, right, Andresa? So many different things. But here on the podcast, we do 2 episodes, and this one is a mini-sode. So mini-sodes are quick, right, Andresa?
They are for people like you, like me, like Liz, that don't have the time to listen to a 2-hour, 3-hour podcast. So this is what you got for today. If you can get this in on your schedule, check your success item for the day.
That's correct. Okay. So what are we going to be talking about? You know, we have to celebrate. So many times we keep going in life, right, Andresa? We keep pushing and going and growing, but we have to stop and actually celebrate successes. So today we're going to celebrate a success, not of me or Andresa, but someone in our community, someone who took action. And I wanted to dissect how that kind of came to be. Her name's Sia Fang. Lovely person. And I wanted to just kind of share, a little more about her success story. She went from 0 to 56 units. And from her posts and her social media profile, she's just rocking and rolling and really getting into more and more multifamily, because that's the 56 unit was a multifamily syndication. And I just see her posts and they're very different than a year ago when we connected. So I want to share this, number 1, to celebrate. Number 2, to give you some tips and strategies so that you can also have the same or something similar. If this speaks to you in terms of wanting something larger or multifamily property or any niche of this business for that matter, because success leaves clues. It's not like, wow, how did this happen? I have no idea.
It's lucky.
Right?
Right. We blame sometimes, they're lucky or they had certain heads up on things. But I like what you're doing right now. It's just like breaking down into things that can be duplicated.
Absolutely. Which I know speaks to you and one of your passions, right?
Indeed.
We both like it probably for different reasons, right? So here's what I want to share with you. I took what, Sia Fang did and just share a little bit about the path that she took. So number 1, often we try to, especially women, we try to go alone and we try to figure things out on our own. And we need to stop doing that. So number 1 is stop doing that. And more importantly, success does leave clues. Anything you want to do in this business, I need to just be very, very frank with you. Anything you want to do in this business of investing has been probably done before by someone. And if you learn about that and you learn what they did and what they didn't do, your kind of entry to that will be less time and hopefully less headaches. So that's something that Sia Fang did really well. And I want to just mention that sometimes we want to be so unique. We want to be so creative. We want to be so like, I'm the first person looking to do this. But yet really there are people who have been there and done that. And success does leave clues. You just need to know who you're listening to and who you need to learn from. So that's just one quick tip. It's interesting. Sia Fang heard me be interviewed on another podcast. So it wasn't our podcast that she heard us, Andresa. It was another podcast. And she said something about that podcast really resonated with her. And so many times we hear podcasts. I don't know about you, but I'm a big, huge listener of various podcasts. So is Andresa. And I'll hear someone get interviewed and it really moves me. It really resonates with me. And it might be someone I even want to like connect with. Maybe somebody that could be on our show, Andresa. And you know what? Sometimes I don't reach out. And she didn't do that. She actually reached out after that. So she really was moved, really appreciated the podcast, and she reached out. And that step that I want to really reiterate to you is that we have to sometimes go out on a limb. And it's scary. So that might be calling the person we've never called before, reaching out to someone that we don't know if is going to get back to us, or just asking someone to, work with you on a project that you're just not sure if they're going to. It's like putting ourselves out there, right? It's like back to dating, right?
It takes courage. It takes courage. And I'll tell you, your ego is going to say, oh no, you're going to look stupid or whatever, and that's when you got to say, oh, thanks for sharing. And you still do it.
And you still do it. She wrote me this beautiful note, and I'm not trying to boost my ego, but I do get different notes. I do get reached out to. So does Andresa, which is awesome. And we love hearing from people. But she wrote me a beautiful note, and she was very succinct. She was right to the point. And I just, something about her note really spoke to me. And so at the next piece to this puzzle was that we were starting a new series where we were mentoring women live in our Facebook community. So we needed someone to mentor, because we just literally launched it. Andresa and I talked about this idea, and we really needed someone to launch. So meanwhile, I get this note from Sia Fang, this beautiful note. And I'm like, this is a win-win. We can mentor her. She can get what she needs. And we can also add value to the women in our community. Just the way the timing worked out was perfect. So that's what we did. We had her on a live, and what did we spend with her, Andresa? 25 minutes, 30 minutes tops, max. Mm-hmm. But I think we got a lot accomplished in that live with her, didn't we?
We pounded. It was like,
we did.
Here we go. Ready? Let's go. Let's get into this roller coaster over here. And here's what you got to do.
So we really gave her a lot of suggestions, and her goal, she was very clear on her goal. That's the other tip, is that when you do get support, you get that person who you reached out to, and they're like, yes, I will help you. Happy to help. You're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Mm-hmm. And you get them on the phone and you're getting support from them. The worst thing you could do is not be laser focused. Worst thing you could do is just kind of talk too much, quite honestly. You need to be laser focused, be appreciative of their time, and state with what you need. State clearly what you need and the support you need. And you may not always know that, but you at least know the goal you have, right? And her goal was to buy a multifamily property. She knew the area, she knew the market, and she kind of knew some of the things that she was kind of, not certain of, if you will. And then we kind of added on there and just kind of gave her some great ideas and supported her. Here's the next thing. Once you do get support, someone pours into you. Worst thing you could do is just take that advice or take that and not share with them an update, not share with them how they helped you. How meaningful that is to hear the advice, the support you got and it was poured into you was actually received and taken, and you're doing something with it. And she sent us a note, follow up, an update. She sent me a note and I forwarded it to, I think it was both of us, and just said, hey, this is what's been going on. Thank you so much. This is how your advice helped me. This is what I'm doing with what you told me to do. And I can't thank you enough. That was like a month after. Well, the end of the year, which is probably May, June, July, August, September, October. So about 8 months later, we get this beautiful post on our Facebook community saying, how grateful she was for that time with us. And then what kind of came after that, right? Because it wasn't just us. There's multiple things that happen in all of our successes. It's not the one person.
It's just the momentum.
It's the momentum. Starts,
building.
And that's the last step I have for you. The last piece I want you to take away here is you have to take massive action, but in micro steps. So we all want to take massive action, but you don't take massive action in one day because you're going to kill yourself. And that's overwhelming. And we don't want you to be overwhelmed. And you could see in her posts from May till December, because I watched her progress. I watched what she was posting because I really cared about her success. I really wanted to see her succeed, right? So did Andresa. And she would post things like, this is what's happening and this is what I'm looking for and great update. Like she was like, and this is what's not working. A commercial broker didn't get back to me. And you'd see that as well, not just the successes, but like the frustrations. So you got to take massive action, but do it in a way that works for you. Do it with grace. Do it by taking micro actions and having grace with yourself to get through it and not do it alone. And she didn't give up on her dream, right? And so, there's probably a lot more we can dissect here, but those are the things I wanted to reiterate. Learn from who've come before you. Success leaves clues. Make sure you're getting the advice from the right people. When you meet someone, when you hear someone talk, and it resonates with you, and it's like, I want to learn from them. I would love to connect with them. Reach out to them. They may really want to pour into you. Or if it's not them, then email someone else. Don't give up. Someone wants to connect with you and be a resource for you. Add value. She added value to us by being a participant on our live. We added value to her by pouring into her and giving her ideas, right? So it was a two-way street. It wasn't just her taking. She helped us, right? By being a participant. When you do get support and you do get poured into, share an update. with them, with other people, what's working, what's not. People really appreciate you being in the arena with them, not just taking advice and thanks so much, like really follow up with people that are pouring into you and helping you. And take massive action. Don't do it in a day. Do it by taking micro steps and really playing full out. And you'll get there. And do not give up. Sia Fang did not give up, and she finally accomplished her goal of 56 units. So that's what I have for you today. Success leaves clues. And that is why we built this community, right, Andresa? Our intimate global community that we're building day by day.
Yes. And if you're not part of it, I don't know where you are under a rock. Just go to Facebook and look for the Real Estate Investor Community. We will love to have you there and give you the support that you need and deserve. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. See ya. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.